Hello, my name is Juniper, also known as Juniper Berry, and welcome to, or maybe even welcome back to my art channel. Today I'll be drawing a little sketchbook spread of some fish because you can't go wrong with fish. I'm starting off with this image I found on Pinterest, of course, of a hand gripping a fish. I thought it was really funny and I just thought I had to draw it. Basically, I went into this just wanting to put something down on the paper because I had done a Tomodachi Life spread previously, like the night before, and it turned out horribly and I was so upset. I felt like a failure for some reason. I just thought, oh, my art's not good, like what am I doing? And I put in all this effort to set up the YouTube video and the lighting and stuff for it just to not work out. But I went in today just with no expectations. It was a sunny day, so maybe that also helped because I was filming at night before. But being in the sunlight is definitely a lot better. And I think since I was drawing something so silly, I had a lot less pressure on myself for it to look good. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video, which I'll go into more detail later. First, I just wanted to say that I'm using just found materials that I have around. They're not necessarily like good. Like this pencil is not the best. It's not in great condition. I definitely need to get like a new mechanical pencil since I lost my old one. Rest in peace. But yeah, today I'm using ohuhu's acrylic markers as well as I think it's arrtx's alcohol markers. Going back to my failed attempt at drawing Tomodachi Life, my me character, I ended up ripping out those pages from my sketchbook, which I really didn't want to do. Like I said to myself that this sketchbook I wouldn't tear out any pages, but I'm only like 5 pages into the sketchbook and I've already ripped out 2 pages. So yeah, but I wanted to make use of the pages that I ripped out, so I'm making a little fold out interactive kind of page today. Yeah, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about being, I guess, bad at art. This is something that I've struggled with for as long as I can remember, just feeling like an imposter or just having this negative mindset when it comes to art. I think when I was younger, I used to enjoy art for what it was, and since going into school for art, I've kind of lost that joy that I used to have. I think it's inevitable that something in you just changes when you start being graded on the art that you make. Not only that, but there's suddenly, as you grow up, this need to succeed with your art, whether that's good grades or likes and comments on social media, validating your art and your practice. And I know a lot of artists will relate to what I'm saying in this video, but I want to let you know that there is hope and it is possible to find joy in art again. Now, this is going to sound kind of hypocritical, but I actually found a lot of enjoyment in making stuff for my uni module this year. In all honesty, this is thanks to my lecturer who really supported me during this time and let me just create without focusing on the final product. Over the course of that module, which was about 12 weeks long, I experimented with so many different methods of art creating, and that included cyanotypes, lino print, sketching, painting, a lot. And yeah, in the end, I found that I really enjoyed just creating. I didn't care whether something turned out well or if people liked it. I just liked the process. However, that does not mean I still don't struggle with imposter syndrome and feelings of doubt and low self-worth. To some degree, these things make us human, and it's a part of our experience on this world. I've rambled a lot, but what I'm trying to say is keep creating. Don't stop. No matter if things turn out well or not, just keep making things, because eventually you will like what you make, and that practice makes perfect, 100%. Okay, now I didn't make this YouTube channel to become a motivational speaker at all. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about my process in this video. So after all that yapping, I'm finally on to using the arrtx alcohol markers. My past two videos, I've used the acrylic markers by ohuhu, which, if you think about it, is actually kind of weird because I first got into ohuhu markers, like alcohol markers, and arrtx for their acrylic markers, but it seems to have worked out the other way this time. Anyways, yeah, I am using a moleskine sketchbook, which this is my first time using alcohol markers on. So it was kind of a learning experience. I found that they bled quite a lot. Not in the way you would think, like they bled into each other, which actually worked in my favor because I was able to kind of blend the colors together that way. I guess the paper reacted quite well to these markers and I was able to use them to my advantage. In the future, I want to get one of those like jelly sheets to put underneath, because at the moment I'm just using a scrap piece of paper to manage the bleed through onto the next page. But yeah, I know ohuhu does them with their sets, but I actually lost mine. Seems to be a common reoccurrence, actually, me losing things. I'm definitely not done with the fish on the right hand side, but I decided to move on to the little sardine can on the left using the ohuhu acrylic markers. I actually can't decide which is my favorite, alcohol or acrylic markers. They both have their own strengths, but ultimately they're the best when you use them together. A little side note, I'm using a new editing software which is completely free and is called DaVinci Resolve. It's so good, like I couldn't recommend it enough. I've done all this completely for free, and yeah, I think it's a lot better quality than my previous videos. Yeah, I'm gonna come back at the end of the video and just leave you for now to watch the process of me coloring these fish. And hello again. Voiceover Juniper is back, and I'm finishing up the final touches on these fish. Yeah, I couldn't help but add some stars and things, as I always do. I'm not too happy with how the sardines on the left look at the moment, because I ended up adding yellow and green to give it more of like a colorful look, but they look murky and not great. I don't think it worked out how I was imagining in my head. Sometimes less is more, and this is one of those cases. Here I realized there was a blue mark on the page, and I tried to wipe it with my finger that had red on it. So I just made it worse, but we're moving on. Oh, and if you were wondering what happened to that little cutout, I decided to do that off camera since I didn't think it would be that interesting and the video was already getting quite long. But yeah, here it is, kind of finished, and I'm just gonna glue it down. But yeah, here is the finished sketchbook spread. I think I could have done a little bit better. It also doesn't look finished because I don't have a fine liner, unfortunately. But that is something I will invest in the future, for sure. But yeah, if you take away one thing from this video, let it be keep creating no matter what, even if it turns out bad. Yeah. Goodbye. I'll see you in my next video. Speaking of my next video, here's a little sneak peek.